we're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
America First Policy Institute, I'm filing as the lead class representative a major class action lawsuit against the big tech giants, including Facebook, Google, and Twitter, as well as their CEOs, Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, and Jack Dorsey. Three real nice guys. We're asking the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida to order an immediate halt to social media companies' illegal, shameful censorship of the American people, and that's exactly what they are doing. We're demanding an end to the shadow banning, a stop to the silencing, and a stop to the blacklisting, banishing, and canceling that you know so well.
So how do you see maybe a bad digital dollar coming out? Chinese obviously working on their own central bank digital currency right now. How do you see that impacting the crypto market?
Well, I think that's the most important question you could ask today. Everybody should be asking. It's just not if, it's just when does the yuan become crypto, when the dollar become crypto, or the Fed coin? And then what will that do to the banking system? I hear all kinds of wild predictions. I'm not saying they're right or wrong, but I just keep an open mind. The same with Bitcoin. When it was 20,000 and FOMO, everybody was afraid of missing out. I just waited till it crashed. So as soon as the Fed coin comes out, I'm going to wait for the next crash. And the next crash may be all those banks that you guys are advertising as handing out dividend checks right now. One prediction I hear is that when the Fed coin comes out, you don't need Wells Fargo, you don't need Bank of America, you don't need Goldman Sachs anymore, because we'll be completely communist. We'll be 100% central banking, central planned economy. So that's what I'm watching right now. And I don't know which way it's going to go, but I think we'd all better pay attention to what happens when the Fed coin comes out. This Biden and Kamala, I mean, what the hell are they doing? Paying people not to work. The only way money is created is via production, and we're paying people billions not to work? Oh my God, that's communism.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Trump, of course, is back. Now he's suing Facebook, Twitter, and Google. And guys, what is this also going to help out with? That's right, regulation. That's what all of these lawsuits are about. But then also we have Robert Kiyosaki, a rich dad, poor dad, speaking of the coming collapse and coming crisis. But what we never hear from them is the fourth industrial revolution. This is planned to bring in cryptos, blockchain, algorithms, robots, and take humanity out the picture of the economy. Robots don't need health insurance. They don't need breaks, lunch breaks at all. The New World Order has to kill off this old economy, the third industrial revolution, in order to bring in the new fourth industrial revolution. Because we know when it comes to the New World Order. It's all planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Talking out recently, he said, quote, "The best time to prepare for a crash is before the crash. The biggest crash in world history is coming. The good news is the best time to get rich is during a crash. Bad news is the next crash will be a long one. Get more gold, silver, and Bitcoin while you can." And then I love to take care at the end. And joining us here for more on that is the author himself, Robert Kiyosaki, joins us. Robert, good to be chatting with you again, man. I like to take care there because it's optimistic, right? People do get rich off crashes. Some people who timed it after sell-off, last year, were able to profit in the recovery here. But talk to me about what you're watching and what has you so concerned about what could spark the biggest crash in world history.
Well, as my friend here, Jim Records, we're the old guys here, and we've experienced enough crashes in our lifetime. But what Jim says is quite accurate. Is the next crash is basically an avalanche waiting for the last snowflake. And since 2008, all they've been doing is piling more debt onto the mountainside, and they're just waiting for the next snowflake to hit. And it's going to be the biggest in world history. I thought COVID was it, but they just added more debt onto the avalanche site.
Yeah, and continue to print. And we've seen kind of concerns about how we get out of that debt pile. And it sounds like you're leaning into Bitcoin and gold. I mean, we've heard a lot of traditional investors leaning into Bitcoin as a hedge. Kevin O'Leary as well noted he's got, 3% in his portfolio. How large of a portfolio position is it for you, though? And how large should it be for maybe the average investor watching this to protect themselves?
Well, let me give you the macro because everybody goes micro on me. This here is a $10 million Zimbabwe dollar. This is the U.S. dollar. If you're waiting for the U.S. dollar to become 10 million, that's not that intelligent, but that's what they teach you to do in school, is go to school and get a job and work for this garbage. And this here is $2,000 worth of gold in one concentrated form. And this here is a U.S. silver eagle. That's about $25. So I just compared this garbage here to what gold, silver, and Bitcoin is. So I'm in one of my tweets, I said I'm waiting for Bitcoin to hit 24. I entered at 9, and I'm still in the money, and I'm very happy it's coming down so I can buy more. Simple.
Yeah, I guess the question is those people who maybe didn't get in, right, or maybe got in at the all-time high that we saw at 62,000. Those people might be a little bit more worried about what could happen here. The people like myself and you who have been in this for a bit might be fine because they've already seen it proven out. But I mean, when you look at it, how do you see it going? If it does dip down further, I know you're going to be a buyer, but what do you see as kind of those catalysts that does take the price of Bitcoin higher now?
Well, again, I said this is the problem. It's called the Zimbabwe dollar or the U.S. dollar. That's the real problem. So I just watched that sideshow with this guy Powell, Yellen, what's his name, Biden, and those characters. And I just gauge off of them. Whatever they're doing, I'm not going to do. But I've been that way most of my life. Some people call me a contrarian. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a capitalist. I don't own any stocks. I don't like stocks, but I don't have to own stocks because I'm an entrepreneur. I build my own assets. Like the Rich Dad Company is an international brand, and a brand is what Buffett invests in, like McDonald's or Gillette or Coca-Cola. So to the young people, I say, don't be an employee. Why don't you become an entrepreneur like Gates or Musk or those characters? And then you get really rich. But if you can just sit there and play the stock market, you may as well play Bitcoin too.
I'd be curious to get your take too. I mean, I guess we've seen, obviously in personal finance, buying a house is always a big question. And I wonder what that would look like too if you're expecting maybe the value of the dollar to go down or inflation to take off. Obviously, if you take out a mortgage and you take on big debt, it's easier to pay back if inflation does surge. So how are you giving advice maybe on that front when it comes to real estate and what you're seeing play out there?
Well, it's not real estate, it's debt. You see, I mean, this guy, what's his name? I forgot his name now. Good friend of mine, but I'm having the Biden effect. He says live debt free. Are you crazy? In 1971, the US dollar became debt. So every time I have a chance to buy real estate, I borrow as much money as I can. So I think I'm about 1.2 billion in debt because debt became money in 1971. But what these other goofballs are saying is that get out of debt, live debt free. Well, that's a choice you make. So I just don't do that. I own a lot of real estate. And every month I make millions of dollars a month in cash flow, and I pay no taxes because the tax system incentivizes people who use debt. So everything they teach you in business school is a bunch of BS. I mean, the real guys like Trump, I know Trump's not popular, but he's a good friend of mine, and we're in debt up to our eyeballs and we pay no taxes. So that's what we teach, and it's different than everybody else. I'm not saying having a stock portfolio is right or wrong, but there's other alternatives you can do. Just open your eyes and see how the rich are really getting richer.